Hey guys, back at it with another roulette strategy to put against a survival test. Today, this one was found on the Roulette Masters TV series channel. This one's called 411. I was very intrigued with this one because it gained, or in that little 15-minute video, he gained $1,500. I know it was on a simulator. He used a $2,000 bankroll with this. I do want to give it a longer test. So before we jump into today's video, I do want to go over the survival test guidelines for anybody new to the channel. This test was created in a longer format to weed out the good from the bad. And what we do is we find those good ones. Then as a community, we try to refine them to make them even better. Every strategy will get a fair shake at 90 spins. This is about an hour and a half of live playing time in the casino. There will not be a time limit. We play out all 90 spins or until the system fails. Every system receives a grade on performance posted at the end of each video. All results are unedited. All videos are posted, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you're new to the channel and want to join us in the quest of finding the best, please consider subscribing. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date because it won't hurt you none, but it might help you some. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's video, and I will explain the progression and what we do on wins and losses. And there's a couple of variations to how you place your bets. So let's go ahead and lay them out. This one's called 411. I'm going to follow exactly how it was laid out. So he goes 4 units on black. So black was last to hit. So we're just starting at that point. And then we're going to put 1 unit here. And the reason we're picking that middle column, that second column, is because that has the most black numbers, since we're putting 4 units on black. And then we're going also 1 unit right here on third dozen. And let's start the count right now. This is spin number 1. And this one is important. So we're playing with $10 unit sizes. We're going to go ahead and use a $2,000 bankroll. But of course, you can use dollar units and adjust that, 50 cents, whatever you guys are using. So we got a loss on the first one. So this is spin number 2. And it's important to keep track of your losses and session profit. So we got a 26. That's one of those good jackpot numbers. So we're up 50 bucks. Okay. Up 50 bucks. So what we're going to do is, this is technically back to base. We haven't adjusted our bet yet, but as far as counting your losses, so we're going to reset the loss count. Okay. All right. Session high is at 50 bucks. All right, that's a nice $20 win. So on wins, we just keep the bet the same. And we count losses. That's important with this one, because that's going to trigger what we do next in the progression. All right, new session profit is $120. All right, we keep the bet right here. All right, that's a loss right there. So we're going to go ahead and keep the bet the same and spin. All right, loss number 2. We're simply going to place the bets out and double up. Keeping in mind our session high was 120. And that's a red. That's a red 1. That's a loss of 120. So that's loss number 1 since we doubled. So we're going to count that. We get another loss. We're going to have to double again. And there's another loss. Double up. We're at a $240 total bet. Lowest we've been in our bankroll is $240. And we got a 15 black. That's an $80 win. We'll take that. Rebet and spin. Spin number 10. All right, 36 red is a loss. Keep the bet right here. We get one more loss. We're going to have to increase in the progression. And that's a 25 red. There's another loss. We are down a minus $400 already. Very dangerous. I don't like this area. Let's go ahead and double up again. Now we're at a $480 total bet. Currently minus 400. Chasing losses. But that's why we do long form tests, because any test could look good in the short term. But look at that. That's a $400 hit. We're back to base level. All right, so we're going to keep the bet the same because we're not in a new session profit. And like I said, I would reset here and start over, me personally, but I'm just going to follow how it's laid out. All right, so we lost right there. One more loss. We'll go ahead and double. All right, that's a 12 red. There's another loss. We're going to double up again. Let's see where we're at. We got minus 720, dude. 720. We need a hit right here, and we did not get it. I don't even know if we could double again. We can't. $2,000 bankroll. We could, let's say, we got to adjust our bets. Let's adjust the bets. Let's go. What do we have to work with? Let's try 25. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. One here, one here. Actually, I could have probably doubled that to use $300, but let's see if this helps out any. All right. Got the win right there. Yep, you guys know I'm not a fan of martingale, and this is the reason. That's why we test them out. Lost right there, so we simply rebet. We will double again. If we get another loss, and we lost, I don't even think we can double. Let's see what we got in the bankroll. All right, we got a $150 total bet. We don't have quite enough, but let me just double once. It's going to put us slightly over our bankroll, and if we don't get a hit right here, it's a bust. And we did not. Look at that. All right, we made it to almost 20 spins, and we already busted the system. Over $2,000 for this. I think it might be okay if you have like a lower bankroll or a lower starting unit and have a higher bankroll. But you could see like we got on a long string of red numbers, and that it killed the system. You know, just mods right off the top. Of course, you could adjust that bet, maybe flip back and from either side. So for instance, you would put 4 units here, 1 here, and then instead of that second column, since you're placing a bet on red, you're going to hit that third column. So, yeah, that's why I run these tests. You know, it looks very attractive, and in short-term formats, like 10, 15-minute videos. And, you know, I post all of these, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And the reason why is because, you know, I always say, too, you want to test yourself. Don't just find a system and just run with it. Like, do it on the simulator multiple days in a row before you just run with the system. Because, like, there are times where some of these pan out very well on the simulator, and then the next day they might crash. Like, there's no perfect system out there, guys. So it's like it's really important to give it a good test run. And what I like to do is, like, let's say I'm about to use a system that I'm like, okay, I'm pretty confident with. I'm going to run it like at least 5, try to hit 10 different sessions with that within the simulator. And if it hits, like, you know, if I'm making profit goals every, like, let's say 7 out of those 10, that's a 70% hit rate per session. And I know it's simulator, it's not exactly going to be the same as going to an actual casino. I get that. But what I'm saying is, if you do test it out on simulator, it still gives you an idea of, like, okay, is it going to hit more often than not? You know, and then you could go ahead and try it out. And then I always, when you try it out, go low as you can with the denominations. If you can, low as possible. But yeah, this is going to get posted. I thought it was going to work out great because, like I said, he said he made $1,500 using it. I could see how that could be possible because there are jackpot numbers. So if you look at the jackpot numbers, you got black covered, you got third dozen covered, and then you got that second column, right? So you got the 26, 29, and 35. Those are big jackpot numbers. But that's the problem with these systems. Like, this style is like you are heavily relying on those jackpot numbers to hit. Anything else is kind of like, it's okay, you know. But like always, guys, let me know what you guys think about this. Maybe you guys have some good input on this. If not, we could just toss this to the side and move on to the next. But like always, guys, till next time, be cool, stay cool, peace.